can it be? Showing up with Tony T, yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, be fuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning scheme is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
And good morning from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott. Welcome to the morning steam for Tuesday, January 16th, a day after the NFL playoffs conclude. Super wild card weekend. We know the matchups for next week's 4 conference semifinal games following last night's action. Of course, earlier in the afternoon, the Pittsburgh Steelers fell to the Buffalo Bills. Well, the Buffalo looked pretty convincing against the Steelers in that 21-0 lead with the 3 early touchdowns. Josh Allen looking like the Josh Allen we know. And they get a pretty steady running game as well. Bills defense comes through big time also. And Mike Tomlin, didn't want to hear questions about his coaching future with 1 year left, but nonetheless, whether or not it was more of a statement about being upset about the loss or uncomfortable about his future, Tomlin left that press conference there at the end, and the Bills advance to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll be favored next week by 2.5 points, total 45.5. The Philadelphia Eagles, they crashed out of the playoffs. Talk to some Eagles fans. They'd still like their chances next week, but Tampa Bay will be the team advancing to play the Detroit Lions following the 32-9 win. Baker Mayfield. We had a premium winner with the Bucks in that one. Talked about the Bucks. Still, pretty good wide receivers and emerging wide receivers as well, not just the veterans coming through. Cam Otten recovered from a bit of the case of the dropsies. They were all dropping the ball to a certain extent, but he ended up with 10 receptions in the game. But the Bucks defense harassed Jalen Hurts all night, and Bucks were the team with 400 yards this time. Totally turned the tables on the Eagles, who crashed out of the playoffs, losing 6 of their last 7 games. Well, we also know the lines for the other games. We knew those previously, but Houston and Baltimore down to an 8.5-point favorite right now at Bovada, 9 at Circa, mostly 9.5, but Houston continues to take a little bit of the early action against Baltimore. I think everyone thinks, that Houston playoff caliber team have closed the gap quickly as far as their future is concerned too. This game notwithstanding, whether or not they could pull off the upset, but Houston a little bit popular, certainly with the early money coming in. And, of course, the Packers and the Niners. The Niners are favored by 9.5 in that one. Maybe a little bit of the same deal. We see some 10s out there as well. There hasn't been that much movement there, but certainly a lot of support for what the Packers did. And did hear again from Mr. Jones, who kind of basically said, we'll just wait and see right now, not ready to make a call yet on Allen. We'll say hello, but hey, I got to try it. Made a new graphic. You know how I like to break the news, and we did have a little bit of breaking news this morning. I'm just going to show my little graphic, and then we'll give you the latest information. You guys probably know what's going on already, but here we go. All right, hope that's not too tacky for everyone, but we'll just use it to kind of let everyone know some important information is coming down the line. Jason Kelsey, the great Philadelphia Eagles center, has announced his likely retirement from professional football following last night's loss to Tampa Bay. The writing was kind of on the wall with Kelsey if they weren't going to advance with this game. Kelsey, maybe a guy who might be just willing to ride off into the sunset, or could have a media career. He's pretty popular right now socially, and uh, well spoken, well thought out ideas. I think everyone knows. And well, one hunk of a man, certainly too, but nonetheless, Jason Kelsey announcing his intentions to retire from professional football following last night's game. So we'll see. Jason certainly, to me, looks like he could go right into some type of uh, you know, an analyst job right away with the pretty seamless transition. He might be up for a big job, actually, I would think, on the networks. So let me say hello to some folks, and we'll also go over to tonyspicks.com. If you thought the breaking news graphic is, other than making me one, but uh, like I said, sometimes we do break a little bit of news here, following it the way we do. Uh, Usually beat a lot of people to the punch. Let's say hello, who's here, and get our show today. Mostly, I think maybe we're college basketball centric for the first time today. Yeah, there's a pretty good NHL card with some good games, and there's a little bit of NBA action as well. But it does feel like the college card is pretty good, and there's enough games. Still go our normal routine, but let me say hello to some folks here. Let's see who's joining us today on the show. And Justin was here first today. He's got his play of the day. And look, he's going by way of the college game tonight with Arkansas. We were going to preview that game. Maybe I'll put it down right now. I've got Justin's top play here is Arkansas. So maybe I'll just go to the total in that game when it come down to it. Gerardo here today. I think our international sports coverage certainly can be at this point highlighted a little bit by the tennis action. Even I stayed up again, not maybe as late. I don't know if the matches were quite as intriguing to me. Pretty light day though in soccer. We still have international action today in Spain with a game. I'm sorry, no. Yeah, well, there's Copa action in Spain. Also, African Cup of Nations continues today. Feature game in Italy as well, and an FA Cup game today. All right. Thomas Bird's here today. Our Tomps joining us as always. Appreciate you. Thurman Hill. Check out our Discord. I'll get the steam rolling in there here. I think I could do it right now as we speak. So if anybody wants to see how this works, you can click on that link right now. I've already made a copy and paste of it, and I'll hit it right now. I'll maybe title it a little later, but I've just put the Steam in the Discord right now. So if you go to our Discord, you ever want to see what the hot moves of the professionals are, I try to give that update directly from the line service. You can click on the Discord. It's free to join. No big deal. And go right in there. And not only that, but we got a lot of contributors in there, such as Gerardo, Brent, Timmy Two Shoes, just guys who like to share information as I do. We're all kind of one and the same, but you go in there. Let me see if I can bring it up here and show you what that looks like. If you go into our Discord there, and there you see right there is that Steam right there. You can even click on it, bring it up real big, and look at all the Steam moves from overnight. These are the earliest movers from bettors every day. And this will not be the best of the line. You've already missed it, although there are some times when the line goes the other way. Now, that could indicate that sharp money has also been incorrect early and they've adjusted, or you just could be still getting the best of the line if you're interested in following these type of plays. So free to check that out, and we'd love your contributions in there as well. I already came with a little bit of stat in there yesterday, talking about those back to back, those NBA series games where teams are playing two games in one city over 3 nights. The second game of those games this season, it's already happened, believe it or not, 26 times. Usually, right, conference games is where it's happened, where it does happen because you're not going to play the other conference more than once on the road. But in the 26 times it's happened, the second game's gone over in 17 of the 26 games. All right, Thomas is here today as well. Thurman's got his series of plays ready. Salty here, right? Yeah, and yeah, I guess I was sitting on trying to get a back door there. So uh, the Steelers did get just a little bit overwhelmed. Maybe those conditions, Buffalo taking advantage of their home field advantage. I think one thing certainly we talked about this week is Kansas City and Mahomes finally playing a road game against the Bills. I mean, it probably is the storyline, I would assume. And Jay Smooth, great to see you as always. Hello to Louise. And talking about he had the Bulls game going under last night. All right, and Jay, yeah, talking about right, and I don't mean to. Just so funny that the Eagles fans, Jay. I mean, obviously a realist here, our guy Jay Smooth, but um, how the fans just kept piling on. Like, well, the guys that I follow a little bit, um, it's kind of like uh, the way the Eagles crashed out, and now maybe some question marks with Sirianni moving forward. I don't think so, but that was such a disastrous end of the season. But the guys, they just kept going to the well, like they could just turn it around at any point. Um, I can't equate it to too much, having not played a lot of high level sports, but I certainly know what it feels like. We all do, right? When you're on the losing end and it's like no turning back. Hey, want to say hello and welcome to Ladarian Monger in the chat. Uh, I don't know what he's saying about Balmer. He's looking but um, what happened? Did I miss something with Balmer, Ladarian? Good to have you. I know he's got a lot of money, and I know the Clippers are going to be a force in the years to come. My Clippers, because of this man. Even if he is maybe his attention seeking does kind of hold them back even a little bit. All right, Jeff Schramm here today. Doubles is here checking in. Timmy Two Shoes as well, and Chad here today. Great to see you. He's hot. He's hot. And Poppy is here today. Kenny Jackson. He scored last night, teasing it. Hey, I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Everybody talking trash about the teasers. Hey, I use every product available. We need it. If we got to use a teaser here, if I want to play this weekend, a 13 pointer on 4 games, I'm gonna do it. All right, let's have some action. Yeah, Poppy, right? I think the books probably are doing the right thing in allowing the bets to be continue to be right because for the most part the leagues are always going to be under obligation to protect the home field advantage as much as possible. Now that I know we're talking about the total, I'm just talking about the basics, right? When you have Buffalo, for example, when their situations have gone awry where they've had either postponements, remember they've had their games moved to Detroit or whatever. That one's not really a home field, but at least it's usually within more proximate travel distance of Buffalo. So they try to at least protect that and try to protect the integrity um, of the game itself. I mean, nothing we could do about totals and betting, but when it comes to that, but it almost seems like the book should open it up and say, "Hey, if you want a refund," but that does uh and was it really a case in that game last night where look, I mean, Pittsburgh's contribution to the score may have lacked there, obviously, a little bit, but not in the final score, but I'm just talking about trying to get that back door, for example. Well, I don't know how I can relate it. Okay, enough me trying to explain myself to Poppy. Let's go over to. I think we've said hello to everyone. We'll go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see who did well on the website and get ready to start our show today. Okay, here we go. Take a look at the top handicappers over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages for today, including mine in college basketball, NBA basketball, and NHL. All right. Here we go. I think this tennis is really slowing me, or my old age. But seems like I'm on slow mo here last couple of nights watching this tennis action. All right, let's go over there. We go. Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at who's hot. Joseph Schultz yesterday, last 24 hours on top of the handicapper leaderboards there. You see Bart Eubanks, Butterscotch, a 6-3 record there right now. Pretty good day yesterday. Hollywood Sam went 2-0. Tim Irwin 1-0. Probably Sam Bermurdy 6-5. I was up there also with a winning day yesterday. 5-4, I think, is what I was. So I didn't make it there on the top 5 leaderboard. I just showing you this leaderboard here today. Last 7 days, Joseph Schultz up 12 2/3 units. I'm up there nearly 12 units of profit. Danny Dimes up a nickel here last 7 days, as is Butterscotch. Gene got picks up there as well. Last 30 days, Gene, very, very hot here to start with us here at Tony'sPicks.com, up 21 2/3 units. Joseph Schultz up nearly 20 2/3 units as well. Butterscotch up 19.5 units. Tim Irwin up nearly 19.25 units. So far, Ronnie Hahn doing a great job so far at Tony'sPicks.com, up 10.75 units. And for the year, Joseph Schultz, he's our man right now, up 16 units on top of the handicapper leaderboards. There's probably Sam Bermurdy up 12.5 units for the year. All right, let's head back over now and get the show started. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. I'm hopefully going to give you some great winners here with the crew and everybody in the chat ready to give you their plays for today. But my best plays are going to be on this website. That's what I do. Put my favorite games in there as my premium picks. So, yeah, maybe we're going to talk about all the games today, but my best plays will be over there. All right. Hello to Gino today as well, and Ray Otachi here today. All right. And let's start with the NBA, as Russell would say today. With our card, just a short 3-game card. Actually, I think I got about 10 college basketball. Well, maybe 9, maybe 8, but like I said, we're checking college basketball today for the most part, and some of these top matchups tonight. But certainly a good game here with the Denver Nuggets taking on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Of course, got to go right to the injury report in this one with Nikola Jokic on the injured list. Now, feels like Jokic is likely to play in this one. You look at the line, 4.5. It does probably indicate his absence a little bit at this point, his status a little bit at this point, with a little bit of a hip injury here. KCP questionable, Murray questionable, Gordon questionable, Porter Jr. questionable for Denver as well. So missing several players there. Philadelphia does not show Joel Embiid on the injured list at this time. Skinny Lofton, Bob Cove on the report today. And current line 3 right now. So I think if anything, I would think right now, I just saw this move right now, Bet Online to a 3. I would think that is more indicative of the status of Jokic. Could be a little bit of sharp action. I'll see the other books tagging along just yet. But this one definitely has gone to 3 and 228.5 here. I'll call it maybe 3.5 here on the show at this point. Pretty much every book's at 3.5. DraftKings is actually at 4, but this bet online, unless it's a rogue, unless it's an error possibly, and now Bovada's taken the game down here. So don't have. Let me see. Could go to the tweet deck here, see if we get any kind of update. If you guys saw anything, maybe they're. Like I said, I didn't think Jokic was really in super danger of missing this game, but anytime they're listed, it's kind of official. You got to tell everybody your injuries. You're going to have to pay some money. So it's a real deal. Keep my news app open for those bulletins. Let's see what you guys are talking about with this one. And maybe I'll share some trends too. Nicholas Handy, hello. Nice to see you. And Rodney Barton's about ready to retire, apparently. Retire from sports betting. And, hey, check out some tennis in the middle of the night, maybe. Dre here today. Good to see Dre. And Doubles is going to lead off with the over in this one, it looks like. And Russell says, don't forget, Sixers on that back-to-back. Yeah, it was a pretty busy day yesterday in the league, and the Sixers played that day game against the Rockets. We had them yesterday, took the Sixers here on the show. And Jay Smoove also here. He's going to take the Sixers -3. We had some nice winners yesterday. Maybe I can cover that real quick as our NBA coverage starts. We have a pretty short card, but we had plenty of winners on the show. So did you guys yesterday. I was tailing you guys for the most part. Pelicans and Mavericks game over yesterday. We also gave out the Magic here on the show over the Knicks. I had the Discord. In the Discord, it came in about 45 minutes before tip-off, and I gave out the under in the Discord. So always try to give a play or two there on the levels each day. Also, we had Pistons Wizards game to go over. How about the Pistons last night, huh? That was another winner we gave out here on the show. Also, we had the Memphis Grizzlies, and the injury news got worse for Memphis. It seemed like as the day went along, but hey, we rode with who we rode with. Again, we were playing the spots. We know the injury situation sometimes, and you always wonder, right? I'm not the guy that comes on here and says, "Well, didn't see that one coming." I mean, yes, if I'm on the butt end of some of the picks, that's just the nature of winning or losing 55, 56%, and you know what I mean. I mean, I'm definitely going to be on the butt end of some of these, games, but I'm going to be that guy. What I would say, kind of like when the leaderboard's barren, that's when I'm up there. When the leaderboard's busy, sometimes you don't find me up there. I'm going to be that guy having the last laugh. Anyways, we had the Cavs. Well, you guys had the Cavs. Talked me into the Cavs yesterday. We also had Celtics Raptors under winner on the show. I think we got a push in that Brooklyn Heat game yesterday on that total. Oh no, what was it? Oh, that game went overtime. It went way under. Oh yeah, well, that was a really interesting game yesterday, and saw the Lakers last night beat Oklahoma the late game. If anybody missed it, Russell says Denver money line, and Dre says Philly money line. Hello to Steven. Hello to Cliff Lloyd. I like when Cliff Lloyd comes in. I always say Cliff Lloyd because I don't want to say Cliff Floyd, who was a pretty good baseball player. Louise on Denver. Poppy can only play 50 cents on tennis at Bovada.
System play.
Sounds like you're on the wrong side of the counter, sir. Steven also had the under there. All right. Yeah, Gino Nuggets and over. Okay, great contributions there in this one. All right. Anyways, maybe we cover a few things with a little extended coverage today of some of these games with uh, the schedule the way it is. And oh, that's interesting, Jay. Let me check that out real quick. I didn't even consider looking because sometimes, to me, I always say, and I always try to quantify it. And you guys know by now. I just feel awkward. Sometimes I do like city, especially when East plays West. I mean, a lot of people throw that trend out. And I think in some cases you just try to determine if the program itself is the same. Sometimes the coaching doesn't even have to be the same, right? I mean, the team is who they are for sometimes, 4, 5, 6 years, sometimes with 2 or 3 coaches, but yet, and we see it in hockey especially, right? Some of the cities where one team just seems to have good success there, even if they're a bad team. All right, it was one. These two teams have not met yet this season, but the games at Philly, like Jay, let's see who was mentioning here. Was it? Was at last time at Philly here, it was 126-119 Philly, but Denver did win here 114-110 back in March of 2022 as a 4-point dog. All right. All right. Well, I'll just make the play. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. The Sharps in this one, they took it at, I believe, I want to say 228. Nuggets game time decision, says Fernando. Schramm has Joker right now still as MVP candidate. I mean, would it be wide open at this point though still, or again, the future's odds kind of would be indicative. All right, just gonna check one thing here and then we'll get rolling with this. All right. Pardon me, you guys. Just want to make sure because I do want to take Denver. Uh, I'm okay with this injury report. I just losing the move here a little bit, and now I'm seeing Bovada's come back on with a 3, circuit 2.5. I'm going to take Denver on this move. It's obviously moving right now. It doesn't look like super hot steam or anything, but again, I just might be missing the news cycle here because I'm on the air with you guys. That's why I'm hesitating here. I was kind of typing in Jokic's name here into the chat and see how it's come up, but it don't really see like it from an official source, but that's okay. I think it's obvious what's going on. All right, 3 games, and I'm just yapping here. Kings and Suns in this one. Kings here, 5-point dog at the Suns. We're playing pretty hot. In fact, though, let's call it 4. The Kings have had back to a pretty decent run of late as well. Total here 243.5, maybe even 244 as this one continues to move up. There was some widely reported steam that did come in on the over in this game at around this number, I'd say. Let me see what it was. Where you guys? 243.5 because that's where that steam came in. And just here within the last 35 or 40 minutes or so, that move did come in on the Kings at +5. So we're seeing that's why we've seen the move there on the dog here today in this one, no doubt. So dog and over would be the sharp move, or at least according to the line services here. I was actually considering the total. No, I think I was kind of in agreement here with that move. Let's see. You have a team like the King. We think of the Kings, but they're big time unders of late. Right now, the Kings have gone under. I'm going to take just a break here. All right. Kings have gone under in 7 of their last 10 games. They've also gone under in 13 of 19 games on the road. The Suns, they've been going over 22 and 17 to the over, 14 and 8 to the over at home. Well, seems like some pretty good. It's going to be a high total here for sure. It hasn't necessarily gone up here, despite this pretty serious move. The first move did come in under, but now I'm seeing right here DraftKings back up to 4.5. So looks like we're just flirting right in there right now. This is a third meeting between these two teams so far this season. Kings won them both, including here at Phoenix back in December, 114 to 108 as a 3-point favorite. Things have changed obviously of late with Phoenix kind of resurrecting things here and getting to 21 wins. The Kings come in with 23 wins. Still Phoenix terrible against the spread at home, but we've just seen some progress from them of late. 7 and 15 against the spread at home for the Suns. The Kings are 12 and 7 against the spread on the road. So Kings consecutive wins here over the Lakers. They covered that one. They didn't cover a big number last out against Portland. Kings have lost 2 straight. Of course, they were on a long road trip, and now they're still wrapping up this road trip before heading home. This is the 5th game of the road trip. They won the first 2, lost the next 2. They've come from Milwaukee to get to this game. All right, Thomas is on Phoenix. Jay says Sack going to continue to fade them as favorites. And Kings have been, real inconsistent to a certain extent, right? Now, here's more Kings action, though. It's all Kings from you guys. I felt like I led the Kings parade, but I think the line feels indicative here, and I think the Kings, this road trip's been difficult. Could I fade all of it? Could I? I'm not fading. I wouldn't want to say it like that, but all right, I guess I'll take the over. Everyone loves the Kings. I guess it's obvious what I like. But you guys, it seems to me like I don't know, man. I kind of I the thing that worries me. I'm a trend guy. What do? I come on here. I read some trends. Here comes the Suns a little bit. Here, Chad's on them. Ray's on them. That's it's just a tough part. The injury report's clear. I'm sorry I didn't go. Well, Keegan Murray, that's kind of a big deal. Questionable, and I didn't think it looked very good for Keegan. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that he's at least questionable in this game. I don't have a lot of hope for Murray to make this game. Maybe I can look at his status, or maybe the news report of his status real quick. But I think he's a pretty impact player. Like I said, I feel like the trip itself is what has me concerned. All right. No, I don't have the best update, I don't think, on. All right. Let me see. 11 hours ago. Okay. Just says considered questionable. I think nothing new as far as I need to know here with Murray. But again, just for me, the Kings road trip, the Suns. I mean, obviously, you got to feel good for Beal right now. Bradley Beal's looking really great out there. Maybe, just maybe, shun these injury woes. Bradley Beal does not take time off because the chemistry is bad, whatever. I mean, this guy is itching to be out there here through all these problems right now. And I think we finally saw over the last couple of games getting Beal totally working here right now, and maybe just maybe this finally we're really going to see the Suns. You see what Thomas said there about just having the stars of the Suns in there, and they've still managed a way to go 21-18 through not looking very good. Now, I still want to be, you know, bad chemistry will doom the or will doom the Sun. But I'm not. I don't want to be that way necessarily right now. Even KD's attitude has me cheered up a little bit on the Suns. And you don't have Chris Paul. He's off bothering somebody. Uh, uh, some other, with the Warriors, and look at their, I mean, I hope the Warriors can turn this around now that Dre's coming back, but we got Chris Paul blowing things up. We got Draymond being the emotional uh, anchor of this team, basically. So, all right, I'll just take the over because most of you guys really like the Kings tonight. Look, I love looking at great spread teams on the road, fading bad spread team, but the Suns are favored here, and uh, the Kings look like they play in stints a little bit. All right, let's get to the last one. We're just talking a little extra on these NBA games. We could talk about what did I miss about Ballmer? Why did someone say, look, the eccentric owner of the Clipper? It doesn't matter, man. This guy's gonna do whatever it takes. Gonna spend money. Clippers, like I said, the reason why they have. There might be a little bit of luck to why the Clippers bench is number one, but they also done a good job paying the balance. And now the Clippers are the team to beat in the Pacific Division. I mean, there's no question at this point that the Clippers are, looking to draw away from this group of teams. They do go up against the Thunder here. We love to take the Thunder, though, in this situation. So you got a hot team like the Clippers, a hot team like the Thunder. I don't think we got to say, oh, Thunder getting the points on the road. We love, it's not about that anymore. It's about the Thunder just being real good, right? And with SGA, let's check his status, but I thought everything's good to go with SGA. He's not even on the injury list here. Just Zubac is out. Pretty much the only key injury in this game. Clippers continue to move higher here. Opened. They're up to 6.5 now. That can't be necessarily injury related, I don't think. I mean, like I said, I think. Well, and again, I mean, SGA in. Like I said, not even on the injury report, but he definitely have been showing up here the last couple of days and had some ailments. So, but I think with the Clippers favored by 6.5 to me is a pretty big indicator that maybe this might be another one where I think I haven't even looked at your comments yet, but I would imagine that this is going to be a Thunder spot for most everybody in the chat. And I don't know if it is going to be necessarily for me that spot. As good as the Thunder has been, they're 26-12 against the spread. The Clippers are just on a great roll right now. They've won 16 of 20 games at home. Not even, they're moving to a new home here soon, but they're owning the building at this point. Also, Clippers have won 8 of their last 10 games. Let me start to look at your comments. So let's take a look. Here it is. Luis, yep, give him the 8 points. And Jay Smooth, yep, not going to be able to get off of it here. And talking about the results last night. And look, I thought that's another thing. And the one thing about these games, right, and this isn't the back-to-back that I was talking about earlier. You're playing a different team. But the one thing about playing the LA teams back-to-back, at least you don't have to travel, right? Chad may be rolling Clippers here. We do have Ray Clippers. Our Tom's Clippers. Thomas Bird. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you guys do have some Clippers support, and maybe people maybe a little bit of a recency bias that watched that game last night. Um, Look, the Clippers are a much better team than the Lakers are, certainly at this point. But let's give the Thunder a little bit of credit in that game. They didn't cover the spread. Uh, and maybe they didn't look quite the part. I mean, remember the Thunder were on a bit of a roll again here with a winning streak before last night's game. Uh, Clippers also lost their last game to Minnesota, and that looks like a bad matchup for the Clippers, doesn't it? Even at full strength, the Clippers do not want to be facing the Minnesota Timberwolves, I would think, in the playoffs. Clippers money line for Dre. Yep. Thank you, Doubles. I was trying to recall what his injury. I do know it was a knee. Now that you mention it, but again, not on the injured list. So, and again, late game last night. Sometimes the coaches are reporting there can be. This is why people always say, and I saw it earlier. Chad was mentioning it, talking about, you know, and someone else mentioning but the injured list really comes out. You try to get that information. There are some rules for reporting with time, believe it or not, but it really just comes down to a matter of filing a report. Ron G here, Thunder. Yeah, I mean Thunder. Thunder road, take the points. That's what you want to do, but I feel like the Clippers feels like their spot for me tonight. I'm going to take the Clippers here actually as the play. Did see some support from the chat because the Thunder on the back to back. Again, sometimes the Thunder also takes advantage of those teams that don't cover spreads. Clippers are covering some spreads right now, even when being favored. Clippers are a terrible underdog. That's the one thing. The Clippers are 19-12, I believe, is a favorite right now. Clippers is an underdog. They're not tonight. I'm just making a point here, but kind of comparing Oklahoma City, taking advantage sometimes against bad teams against spreads when they lay points at home. Clippers are covering some spreads. As an underdog, the Clippers are 1-7 against the spread, but they're favorite here tonight. That's the NBA. Talk too much there, but right, Thomas? Yeah, they have been, but not necessarily of late because of their surge to the top. I've got them on the top of the chart. I better. Oh, look at that! I've got it right now in the Pacific. Clippers, Suns, and Lakers at this point. And then Warriors and Kings. I have the Kings all the way back down to the bottom here at this point. Maybe the Kings technically would be ahead of the Warriors, but I'm going to give them a bit of a chance here. Not to get back. I don't know if they can do anything, but just with Green coming back, I think that they really. We can say what we want about Dre, but they've obviously missed this type of player on that team. They're nothing without him. We know that Clay's done. It's unfortunate. And no depth whatsoever, right, Chad? All right. All right, let's roll it to the colleges today. Hopefully, you guys can hang with me on some of these. I know it's not, or if you're sticking around for the hockey, I do want to go over my college basketball today, mostly because of the damage we've been doing here on the show. Victory lap, I don't know. Had a few winners again yesterday here. We gave out the double winner yesterday, kind of Yeah, we definitely were against the. I was against the chat there. I think with GW over Mason, we went GW and under for the sweep. We also had Marquette over Villanova here on the show, but Iowa did a nice job against Minnesota last night. Let's get into the college ball here with uh, I picked some nice games and don't laugh. I mean, this is maybe the game of the day technically. If you talk about the impact that this game will have in the conference standings in the Southern right now with Samford and Western Carolina, both teams coming in 4-0 in this one. Western Carolina, Vontarius Woolbright, their big star going up Acor for Samford, two stellar players in a tight game today. Reported's team did come in here on Western Carolina in this one. I mean, this game's closely rated. Shows right now two there on the screen. Oh, I just want to mention real quick too. Florida Tennessee is the first game on the board. This is the first game on the rotation. Florida Tennessee was actually a time change to 5 Eastern and 2 Pacific. This game currently 1.5 or 2 right now, mostly twos across the board. Total 157 at circa, but there is some juiced 156s or just higher out there right now in this game. But this is one, if you like checking out the mid majors, that you're going to want to check out tonight for sure. Like I said, that steam did come in on Western Carolina. I think Samford actually may have opened this game as a 1-point favorite, or let me see. Yeah. Or Samford. Bovada did open Samford a 1-point favorite in this one. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm even going to make the call on the side here in this one. I'm going to wait and see if it goes up. I mean, I'm probably going to grab at least a bucket, I would think, with Samford. I think this will be a pretty hot game, and I think there's a chance for either team to win. Under is going to be my play here on the show. I feel much more confident, I would think, with the under. That's been the slight move here in this one. This one's on CBS Sports Network, so pretty good mid-major game. All right, anything here? Russell, we're talking about the New Mexico-Utah State game tonight. Stay tuned for that. We're talking about that one. That one's got plenty of intrigue. Yeah. Thomas still, he's going to like Western Carolina here. Justin's on Western Carolina. Okay, I'll take the total. You guys obviously like Western Carolina. Jeff, did I give a pick on the last NBA game? I most certainly did. I took the Clippers. I'm going to take them despite all the, despite the trends, despite yeah, we love the Thunder. Easy to go back to the Thunder. Easy to make a reasoning on the Thunder for all the reasons we usually make it on the Thunder. But the back-to-back and the Clippers covering numbers for me and the move on the Clippers. Okay. Bill on Samford here, money line. Justin says, always an angle, a team coming off a monster performance, but they were playing VMI. They scored 100. They scored more than that, brother. They scored 134. 134 to 96. They covered 23.5 points. Not only Samford right now winning every game, they're covering every game. But Western Carolina, they are also. They didn't cover against Wofford. They were laying 5.5 at home in a 4-point win, but pretty much they're covering every game too right now. Just a great matchup. A great matchup that's been also won by Samford. Samford wins this game pretty much every time of late. Last year, they swept the series, won the game here 85 to 77 as a 4.5-point favorite. But with Western Carolina, they are improved off of that. I mean, last year they were really just a 500 team. 18 and 16 last season, but Coach Gray's got them rolling right now. They have uh, Western Carolina has won 9 straight. Samford has won now more than anybody. Samford's won more than anybody right now consecutive games. At 15, 15 now, 15 after the win over VMI. 15 straight wins. They lost to VCU and just some team named Purdue. So I think they're pretty good. I'll let you guys, most looks like you guys on Western Carolina. And all right. And Mike also on Samford here. Or he's on Sanford. I know, Mike. I don't mind. You don't have to correct little. I'm not. I might make fun of you a little bit for saying it wrong, but just so I can, like say the Sanford and Son theme song or something. We know what you mean. I'll take the under in that one. TCU and Cincinnati. Uh, good ball, good game here in the Big 12, right? Get your conferences straight. Make sure you got the right conference. But this is a Big 12 matchup. Cincinnati and BYU. That's Big 12. If you don't know, just say Big 12. There's 14 teams in the. I don't even know how many teams are in the conferences half the time. And why don't they change them to the number? Why don't they just keep balancing the number to how many conferences they have? Why do they need to be called the big whatever? All right. TCU and Cincinnati here. Cincinnati's on a losing streak right now with losses in the Big 12 to Texas and Baylor. How good is the Big 12? Every night is like a tournament night in the Big 12. If you go through like the strength of schedule of all the teams remaining, I think like 14 of the top 20 teams are Big 12 teams for like the strength of schedule remaining this season. So these two teams might be left behind when it's all said and done. TCU 13-3, Cincinnati comes in 12-4, TCU 2-1 in conference, Cincinnati already 1-2 in conference. So they're still favored here at home. TCU 7-3 against the number in their last 10 games. Cincinnati, they've been a bit of a bummer against the spread, but nothing too alarming here. TCU, of course, off that upset win over Houston, but I don't think they were necessarily surprised. They were just a 3-point dog in that game. So, yeah, it was exciting and everything, but they beat Oklahoma before that. They barely lost to Kansas on the road. So TCU's got a pretty good team. Cincinnati with their consecutive losses. They did get the money, though, at Baylor last time out in a 62-59 loss, getting 6.5 points. Anything in this one from the chat? In here, Andrew, I do. In fact, I watch. You know what? I watch the keg chat when they're. I want to say the only game, and there's only a few real YouTube type chats that are kind of like, in the little network of YouTube, like this and all the others, and but quite frankly, he's the only one. I like to go one off. I think that's what's so great about Tony's Picks YouTube channel and some of these other channels is the one off coverage, right? Even a step down from some of the mainstream ones that have kind of been bought up by networks and stuff like that. That I like to watch those too. All right, let's see. Justin on Cincinnati here. So when I watch them when they're kind of the only game in town, if you know what I mean. All right. Let me make a call here with this one. I will say that TCU, those the I'm sorry, the losses for Cincinnati to Baylor and Texas. They did beat BYU before that uh, at Provo, 71-60 as a 10-point dog. All right. I do like TCU to get this done here. I think they're playing good. I'm getting points. I'm going to take them here in this one. I do think that TCU, that total, what is it, still 151? Looks high to me. TCU plays pretty good defense, man. 150.5. I know they've gotten in their losses. I can look at it, but talk about the amount of points that they gave up when they haven't. And I know they're an underdog here. Let me see what they were. Gave up 74 to Clemson, 88 to Nevada, and 83 to Kansas in that game. But they've held some bad teams down. Cincinnati's not terrible, but all right. Let's take a look at this one. Next up with Wake Forest at North Carolina State. The Wolfpack favored here by 1.5. Total at 150. Down to 148.5 at Circa. I'd say this one is definitely on the move lower. Both teams come in with a 12-4 record at this point with NC State. However, they've been 6-4 against the spread at home. Wake Forest, just their third road game. They're 1-2 against the spread on the road, but they've been covering 7 of their last 10 games right now. They just came off of a 19-point win over Virginia as a 6-point favorite at home. They did lose to Florida State before that, but also have conference wins before that. Over Miami, over Boston College, and over Virginia Tech. Currently, Wake Forest sits with a 4-1 record in conference. NC State also 4-1. North Carolina currently leads the ACC with a 5-1 record. Duke and Florida State are also currently 4-1 in the standings. NC State's off of a win over Louisville. They didn't get the money. They were on the road laying 7.5, but Louisville actually covered the game at home. It was pretty much a game where NC State looked like they were in charge, in control most of the way. For NC State, they did lose to North Carolina before that by 13 points as a 3-point dog at home to the Heels. So Heels looking above and beyond here a little bit. Jay Smoove says, give me Wake. All right. These two teams, NC State won both of the matchups last year. Where's my graphic on this one? There we go. NC State won here 90-74 as a 5.5-point favorite. They also won 79-77 as a 3-point dog on the road. All right. This one's pretty tough for me right now. I don't know. I like that move on the total under. These two teams have been producing a lot of overs so far this season. Wake Forest 3-0 on the road to the over so far. NC State's gone over in 7 of their last 10 games, but getting a little bit of a discount here on this. But usually I favor moves like this in conference, especially where, like I said, so far, the numbers have been coming out in conference play. The totals are definitely starting to go under here a little bit of late, especially over the weekend right now. Right out of the gate, the unders in conference play had been very, very sharp. So, all right, I'm going to take the under here. I'm going to respect the move. Under 148.5, confidence meter low. I can't make the call here. Double says the line's now 2, 4. Yeah, 2 everywhere, pretty much 2 everywhere. Doubles has it close. Thomas says under. Jace moves on Wake. Baylor and Kansas State. I guess I can't go ever. I've got to preview Baylor every show, I guess, until they start to show me what I was expecting earlier in the year. I mean, no problem with what Baylor's doing right now. They're back on another winning streak, so I can't stop talking about them. But they didn't get the money in that game against Cincinnati, if you know what I mean. No big deal. They won 62-59 as a 6.5 point favorite, playing some defense certainly in that one. Another under there. Kansas State, they had their winning streak snapped when they lost at Texas Tech on Saturday, 60-59. They did get the money as a 6 point dog. They've covered three straight, have the Wildcats. The Wildcats won both meetings last season, including the one here, 75-65 as a 1.5 point dog to Baylor, just like they are here in this one. Kansas State has gone under in 8 of their last 10 games. They're also 2-4 to the under as an underdog. Baylor, 4-6 to the under in their last 10 games. Thomas Bird is on Baylor. However, Jay Smoove is on Kansas State. I'm going to take the over in this one with Baylor and Kansas State tonight. The widely reported steam did come in on Kansas State. I'm sure that's why we've seen that too. And and obviously, I'm sorry about the graphic. Oh, one. I was thinking of that last game. Let me just fix that at least. I think we'll actually see now maybe a pick 'em at Circa. So pick 'em at Circa. Always going to be the first book, these days. I mean, they've seemed to even have it maybe even over the penny lean at this point. If you're old like me and you know what the penny lean is here. But nonetheless, the move apparently is to Kansas State in this one at a pick 'em now at Circa. All right, I'm going to take the over in Baylor and Kansas State. Yeah, there's not even, maybe a decent set of trends other than the, game they played last year at Baylor did go for 192 points. So, all right. Anything else here? No. All right. Next up, seeing a little bit of action here with St. John's going up against Seton Hall. St. John's, another team I want to talk about every show. It feels like they are favored, I think, in this one right now by 1. I could even see this moving to 1.5 at this point. I might as well put it. Well, I'll put it at -1. I don't really even see any major 1.5s out there. I do see plenty of 1s for St. John's here in the total 146.5. So the move looks to be to St. John's here. They did take the widely reported steam to move to favorite here, and I'm sure that they're going to be the square. I don't want to say the square side. I mean, I'd probably want them to. I don't know. Let me see if I can get off of them at this point. They feel so popular today against Seton Hall. Look, we've done well with the Hall. It seems like we've been on them in the right spots of late. They've won 4 straight, covered 3 out of their last 4, including that game on the road against Butler in a 78-72 win as a 4-point dog. They also beat Marquette at home as a home dog here, and now they're playing St. John's. St. John's comes in off of a loss. Don't forget, they did lose that game at Creighton. They got the money, no doubt. Played good, competitive game. Ended up being a low-scoring game, 66-65, more low-scoring action. So I'm probably going to, I don't want to go against St. John's. I like them so much, but I think they're just going to take so much public action here. Are you guys on St. John's? You know me. I mean, I've been loving Coach and loving everything. Justin's on them here. Jay says lock. Scott's a J smooth lock, and that's where I want to go with this game. Thomas is taking Seton Hall. I want to take Seton Hall. They won the meetings last year, including the one here at home, 88-66, and they won against St. John's on the road, 84-72. Now this is the new St. John's a little bit. This is really a new. This is a pretty good team, but I think I don't want to overlook Seton Hall necessarily right now. They're certainly right there, 5-1. Remember, St. John's already 4-2 in conference. They have 2 losses, and Seton Hall does not. So, you know what? See, the St. John's might be more, kind of tournament ready, if you will. They might be the team that can run deeper. Right now, I'm going to take. St. John's is not going to be missing any tournaments or anything like that. Not even with 5 losses here at this point, not even if they finish with 8 or 9 losses. They're going to be going. They're going to be going. So let's take Seton Hall here to win this one. Yeah, maybe, but look at some of these games of late that they've looked, Marquette. I know Providence has 4 losses. Big East is good. Curtis is under is the lock here. Hi, Curtis. I really do like the move that I don't know. I'm not going to comment on the under. How about that? I'll leave it to Curtis. I'll take Seton Hall against the Johnnies. Georgia and South Carolina, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on the U. South Carolina favored here in this one by now up to 7, 136.5. Big time move here for South Carolina. If I'm not mistaken, did I feel like I put the line in incorrectly? Now there's been a pretty big move here in this game, so let's just check out the injury report. Let's check out what's going on. Mostly 6.5, 7s. Bet Online opened this game at 3.5. All right. No, I don't think there's any. This just feels sharp to me. There was widely reported steam that came in on South Carolina, hence the move, but that is a pretty dramatic move nonetheless. South Carolina comes in, having lost just twice so far this season. Georgia comes in with 4 losses, including that last game, of course. They lost to Tennessee, 85-79. They covered the spread, though. Georgia's covered the spread in 3 straight. South Carolina defeated Missouri 71-69 as a 3-point dog on the road. Before that, they did get blown out at Alabama, 74-47. Right now, South Carolina comes in with a 2-1 conference record. Georgia comes in also at 2-1. Auburn and Alabama on top right now of the conference standings at 3-0. South Carolina is 12-4 against the spread so far this season. Pretty impressive run. They're also 7-3 against the spread at home. Both these teams have kind of been going under for the most part this season. Georgia's 0-3 to the under on the road. South Carolina's yet to lose at home. Georgia's been fine on the road. They did win at Missouri 75-68 for a conference road win. Curtis likes talking about Florida today. And Thomas asking about Purdue a little bit. Of course, I try to gravitate towards closer games. I know here I did not, but both teams 2-1. That's a good one. Maybe we could take a look at that. Hello to Panger Life. All right, Georgia and South Carolina here. I'm going to take the Gamecocks. I'll still take the Gamecocks, I think, minus these big points. No, that you know what? That's too many points right now. It needs further evaluation. I can't just do it. 2.5 points here in the last couple of hours. So let me go ahead and take the under in this game as my official show play. I was probably going to use that as a premium, but I don't know if I could just lay 7 now all of a sudden with this without checking it out, and doing it on screen might just take a little too long. But I came here with the intent of playing South Carolina. Even 5.5 was probably going to be acceptable. And that was my first glance at a 7. So let me just dial it back. And I like the under. That's my premium. There's plenty of games out there today. So let's have at it with the under in this one, Georgia and South Carolina. Going to get a lot of unders from me, I'm sure, in college basketball here in conference play right now until there's some adjustments. Texas A&M and Arkansas. Continuing on in the SEC here with Arkansas coming in 9-7 currently. Texas A&M with a 10-6 record, but these two teams still pretty decent here coming in. You guys are right. You guys had some of those games. I take suggestions in the Discord, by the way. For Arkansas, of course, they come in right now having lost 3 straight and failing against the spread. They were underdogs, actually, though, in all those games, including their last one at Florida. They lost 90-68 as a 7.5-point dog. Meanwhile, for Arkansas, they lost also to Georgia on the road, 76-66 as a 2-point dog, and lost at home against Auburn. A&M's off of a win, a big, exciting, thrilling win over Kentucky on Saturday, 97-92 in overtime as a 2.5-point favorite. Before that, they did lose and fail at Auburn, 66-55 as a 6.5-point dog, and then before that, lost to LSU by 15 points as a double-digit dog. Over here, it looks like, for Curtis. And I agree. I agree, Curtis. We don't have to go any further. I'll take it with you. The widely reported steam came in on the over. I'm sure it's higher than 145, right? I want to make sure that I get this one. That's 136.5. So, I'm sorry, 147. I was thinking of that last game there. 147 right now. I'll go over. Let's get a good fair price up there for everyone to see. And I'll go over with you. Arkansas cannot slow down at home. They've gone 10-2 to the over at home so far this season. Texas A&M's 4-2 to the over on the road. They might think they're playing defense, but I don't know if they are. And Justin says he wants Arkansas plus those points at home. Yeah, I might be with you. I might be right behind you, Justin, on that one. All right. Well, like I said, if you don't know, just say Big 12. BYU at home hosting Iowa State. Iowa State's been fun, haven't they? Yeah, BYU's doing pretty well. Both teams are 13-3 coming into this one. in the rugged Big 12. We already said BYU's they're off to a 1-2 start in conference. Iowa State 1-2, but BYU here they're not 3 anymore. They're favored by at least 4 now. In fact, yeah, I'm showing 4.5 at most books everywhere. 144.5. So the move has been BYU. The move has been to the over. Call it 4.5 and 144. All right. For BYU, they're 9-2 against the spread at home so far this season. Iowa State 1-3 against the spread on the road right now. So also Iowa State just 2-1 against the spread as an underdog. They've been favored mostly here. They are coming off consecutive wins against Oklahoma State. Big impressive win for Iowa State in that one as they beat Oklahoma State 66-42 as a 12.5 point favorite. They also knocked off Houston, of course, in that thriller 57-53. Their loss in conference was to OU. BYU's coming off a win over UCF. That's another one of the BYU and UCF. Big 12. BYU's failed to cover the spread in 3 straight games. They did win that game against UCF by 5. They were favored by 5.5. They also beat Baylor lost to Baylor on the road. They lost at home to Cincinnati in conference play so far. All right. So this one's been moving higher and higher and higher. I mean, they can't stop it at this point. I guess that's where I'm going to go. Looks like we've missed out on a little bit of value. So give me the over. I would think it goes over. BYU's at home, aren't they? They always go over at home right now. Jay Smooth says he's on Iowa State in this one. Hey, Jay, try not to give out the premium picks here. Actually, I'm not sure I'm going to be. It's close right now, but if this spread keeps moving up, I'm gonna look into it. Justin's actually on BYU. So hello to RVD. We're getting ready for the hockey right now, RVD. I got one more college basketball game, then we're moving to that great hockey card tonight. And we've been doing a pretty good job on the show, it feels like to me. Under for doubles here. All right. I'll take over. I got to take over because that's where I've missed on the value. And so for me, how does Ramon, he's going to make the call. I'm going to make the call. So I was like, I like both side and total here, right? I was thinking I like Iowa State. I like the over. And then I looked down. I'm like, I don't know which I'm going to use on the show. We'll see. We'll see what the line is when I get there, right? Because I got to prep for the show a couple hours. And maybe 90 minutes on a show like today. But so I'm like, we get to the point, right? And BYU's 4.5. So I'm like, well, I'm getting a little extra now with Iowa State. Total's gone up. I'm like, I like the over. We'll put the over as a free play. So I know you guys know that a little bit if you like my picking style. I don't know what you call it. Utah State at New Mexico State. Here it is by request. Also, maybe we'll look at one or two other games you guys mentioned in the chat. Turned it around all of a sudden here last several shows with the request games, ironically in conference play. All right, so here it is, right? New Mexico, in fact, I think they up to 6.5 now. Call it 6. I knew it. I didn't need to see it in that one, right? So yeah, maybe I get startled by some of these lines. I already knew New Mexico was on the move, and look, Utah State has right now they are 16-1. We know that. So they are 16-1 coming in. They've been just terrific here, but New Mexico's pretty darn good too. And the move is totally on New Mexico. That's the old bells should be going off in your handicapping head. it feels like a little bit with New Mexico in this one. Like they are the side here, despite the fact that Utah State has been so good. Now, they did just fail in their last game against UNLV. Now, they won by 1 point on the road as a 1.5 point favorite. So we're not going to penalize them or anything like that. Before that, they covered conference games against Wyoming, Colorado State, and Air Force right now to prove that they are championship contender right now with Boise, with San Diego State, and New Mexico does already have 2 conference losses, but this move just the old, either they're begging you to take Utah State handicapper talk, or the line screams New Mexico handicapping talk. You pick your handicapping narrative in this one. I'm bored. I like New Mexico in this game. Feels like a premium, but I just want to be that show-off guy here at this point. Maybe New Mexico wins and Utah State covers, 5-point game, whatever. But I think there's a better chance of New Mexico finishing this game off at the pit against Utah State than Utah State continuing this run a little bit. Panger looking to smash a like and smash the video here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Jace moves with me on New Mexico. Look, I think even if you look on, and we don't necessarily on college ball, I mean, it's just kind of personnel wise. I mean, we could sit here and break down all these games. We're already here 2 hours, 2 hours a day, longer sometimes, breaking some of these down. But I think if you even looked right now, the talent on Utah State is still pretty impressive here, especially those guys, Ozabor, pretty hot, but he's going to be really in a big matchup inside. It's not so much, we know Mashburn's been kind of injured. He's not even on the injury report right now for New Mexico. That's also a great sign. But look, you got Toppin, you've got Joseph Jr. I mean, these guys, House, New Mexico's front court is really good, man. And Utah State, hey, Brown, everybody talk about Mashburn. Brown is going to be the guy for, on Utah State, but New Mexico's got some guys. Russell says over or under. I actually may have a feel here now that I've given out a premium. No, I don't know if I have anything just yet on the total, even definitive. The total is up to 158, by the way. Probably even worth an update on the graphic. Maybe I could just mention that Utah State 7-3 to the over, 5-2 to the over on the road. New Mexico, pretty nondescript. Maybe they're trending under a little bit. The series itself has been all Utah State also in the past, so a little bit of a maybe New Mexico thinks about that to a certain extent. Last year, interestingly, the last 3 meetings have been played at. Let me see. One was a conference tournament game, 91-76, I think it was. Utah State won and covered last year. Okay, that's a look at college basketball. Hopefully, the college basketball plays have been pretty solid of late after some trepid beginnings. Let's go to the NHL tonight, where we also had some nice calls yesterday, I would say, on the show here. We had the Anaheim Ducks. We talked about against the Florida Panthers yesterday. It's our segue here into this game, but recap just some of the games yesterday, right? Anaheim. We had the call on Anaheim, and I also had a premium on the over, which didn't seem to be really in question. The way that game got off yesterday, my premium play was on the Ducks Panthers over. We also gave out the Canucks and the Blue Jackets over here on the show. We had the Kings and the Hurricanes over here on the show. We also had the Predators and the Knights under here on the show. We also gave out the Minnesota Wild. No one wanted Well, no, there were a couple of you with me, I think, on the Wild yesterday. We had the Montreal Canadiens on the puck line. Who had the Canadiens on the puck line against the powerful Colorado? We did here on the show. All right. I thought it was a good day. We had a couple pushes, I think, in there as well. It helped our record. I mean, not helped, but, made it a pretty profitable card. All right, let's take a look here with the matchups with the Ducks on the back-to-back here, obviously on the road against the Capitals. And so the Capitals going to be a pretty significant favorite here in this one at $2. But I don't know if Kemper. Let me actually fire up the goalie computer because it feels like the might not be Kemper. Might not be Kemper in this one is the feel that I'm getting at this point. Looks like I've got looks like conflicting starting goalies here. I don't think we have the confirmation. Charlie Lindgren, though, is mentioned on uh, one of the sites here today to be in goal in this one. So, but I don't know. For me, I would, oh man, the total, I would think it may end up going higher right now. It's 6 over 15 for the most part. I see a 6 over 20 as well. And could it move if there is the change to Lindgren? I don't think there's a lot of negatives necessarily with Kemper usually in there. Anything here yet for you guys? Hey, Bo, nice to have Bo in the chat. Great to have you, Bo, as always. Honor to have you stop by. All right. Maybe you guys are just getting rolling with me here on some of this hockey action. Let me get rolling here on some of these numbers here. Anaheim has gone 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. They're off the win yesterday against the Panthers, of course, as we mentioned. The Capitals also 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. They're 11-7 at home so far this season. Anaheim been going under quite a bit of late, 2-7-1 to the under in their last 10 games. Washington 7-15 to the under at home. They are 3-8 to the under as a favorite. These two teams met back in November. Anaheim won 5-4. No, the Caps won 5-4 at Anaheim in their only previous meeting. Here we go. Gino is on the Ducks puck line here. Washington's off of a loss to the Rangers. In fact, they played Rangers in back-to-back games, a home and home, over the weekend. They split that series. Washington won at home 3-2. Rangers won at the Garden 2-1. All right, this one actually might be. Let me get my pick sheet here because this one might be my least favorite of the games actually here, and it's the first one. So appreciate if you guys have anything here. Here's Fernando on the Ducks. Here's R. Thompson is going to go over in this one. All right. I'm just going to have to go over here as well at the 6 currently without knowing about the Capitals goaltending situation. I'm not necessarily concerned with it, given the situation the Ducks on the back-to-back. Look, Caps have been, pretty okay, certainly. Everybody wants to make fun of them, but they do have 20 wins so far. And I'm, still not, but a 35% winning percentage or whatever they are. So, all right, let's move on here. Keep it rolling. Let's get to a better game here. Avalanche and Ottawa in this one. Avalanche favored on the road. A little bit of a tougher challenge here, even against Ottawa. You'd think that maybe they'd be favored by even more, but you know who's on Ottawa? The Sharps. Sharps are going to be all over Ottawa in this game, I would assume. I mean, look at it now. It's down to one. It's almost a pick 'em at Circa at this point. 135. I was being, generous to the Senators here at this point. I would say let's at least put the highest price. Maybe we could do that on uh, the Avalanche at maybe $1.25. It's obviously going to be a pretty tough game here for Colorado today with the Sharps clearly on Ottawa. Who's going to want Ottawa in the public? I mean, I'm probably going to want to find a way to Ottawa. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. They took it at 6.5. There's certainly plenty of sevens. It might be all sevens here. Circa is back down to 6.5 right now, and so is the South Point. But pretty much everyone else holding steady at sevens, and yeah, pretty much holding steady at sevens here in this one. Ottawa's 12-6-1 to the over at home. Colorado's 26-18 to the over this season. These two teams already played their first meeting. It was 6-4 in that one. Avalanche got the win at home. Avalanche 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. They've won 3 straight in this series. But I'm probably going to end up with the Sharps here. I don't know if I can not take Ottawa here. I've got to respect the move. I'm probably going to respect the move, and I would look for the 6.5. Look, I would think Avalanche. They're not going to lose this game 2-1. I mean, it might be 6-5. It might be 5-4. I would think in this one, maybe that's how it gets. Maybe that's how it gets away from them. I mean, they just gave up 4 goals to Montreal. Well, 3 goals to Montreal, but lost the game 4-3, right? And before that, at Toronto was a 5-3 game. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take Ottawa here. Feel like I like Ottawa. There's probably not much value left in Ottawa. There's no value left in Ottawa. I'll take them here at this miserable price, and I think they should win here. Jay's on Ottawa. R. Thompson's going under. I think we're just seeing the game differently. R. Thompson, I on this one. I've got Avalanche. Maybe even if they win the game, it's going to be at least 4-3. All right, let's keep it moving here. With the Kraken on the road, taking on the Rangers, the red hot Kraken. Oh man, these guys are hot, hot, hot. And now they're taking on the Rangers in this one on the road. Look, they finally got beat. I know they lost to Pittsburgh. They got shut out. It was a day game on the road. The Kraken have been outstanding again on the road. They're getting that same thing back. I think that's what bodes well for the Kraken in the long run. Yeah, they faded a little bit last year. Late in the season, despite having kind of the same performance. We really didn't see the Kraken get off to this great start on the road, but now they're starting to get it together. They just had a long winning streak, obviously, and before losing this last one to Pittsburgh. The Rangers were on a big losing streak. Remember, it's all falling apart here for the Rangers. I'm kidding to a certain extent, but they had been on a losing streak. They did beat Washington 2-1 at home in the second of a back-to-back after they had lost to Washington on the road 3-2 over the weekend, and they finally got that losing streak snapped. This might be, let me see here. Just want to mention, though, I think in the last game, Ottawa has confirmed Sogard in net there, but Colorado may be going with Annunen here in goal today, but nothing is confirmed there. So Prosvetov might not be in goal. But just want to mention Chris Dredger here. He's already played once here, Dredger. uh, for Seattle uh, in that one. So this will be his second start. Uh, he did beat Calgary 2-1 on December 27th. It was his first game in nearly 2 seasons. So it looks like Dredger, he's confirmed in goal today here against the Rangers, and Igor not confirmed yet, but uh, Dreiger here might be Dreger. I'm not that familiar. It was a little bit out of my realm a little bit, but I know he's around 30 years old here. Uh, Getting the, like I said, he's already had one start. He's played with a couple of other teams. He's not a stranger to playing professionally. He was with the Kraken a couple of seasons ago, and he also played with the Panthers. So we have seen him in goal before, but did catch me by surprise when he played in that other game and then in this one today. Here's Gino on the Rangers. Here's Fernando on the Rangers. Maybe Curtis is on the over here, but I'm not sure which game. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate you. Have a good day. All right, but one thing I think in this one, even at 5.5 here, interestingly, I would just mention right now that we mentioned that Anaheim game. They're taking some action for sure right now. Anaheim is getting steamed at this point in that game against Washington. All right, and this one, the total here, I should update that because I'm probably going to go over as my play in this one. It's at 6 under here. Rangers are still minus $2 or so, up to 215 at some spots, $1.95 at circa, but 6 under 25 for the most part, maybe even some 6 under 20s here. So why don't you give me the over in this one with the Kraken and the Rangers? A widely reported steam did come in on the over. Uh, we'll see with Dreiger. Obviously, been playing, in the AHL for the most part over the better part of the last season and a half. So, and now he's going up against the New York Rangers here. Yes, Seattle has been very, very hot, no doubt about it. I'm not sure that I like Seattle here, but I certainly don't like this price on the Rangers. If anything, I'd probably have to play Seattle just out of based on the price and the fact that Seattle's played very well on the road. Just not sure I'm going to do it right now on the show. Maybe I'll take him on the puck line later. Gamble's on the under. Next up, we've got the Islanders taking on the Jets. Hello, here for the Jets are favored here by $1.85 against the Islanders today. Total 6 under 15. Oh man, it's a high price when you think about laying something with the Jets, but they almost got to do it at this point. The Jets have been so wonderful here of late. Might be a tough call, laying it at this price, but I'd be more apt to take the Jets and want to think that the Islanders have any value here. The Jets have now 28 wins so far this season. Islanders still doing pretty well with their 19 wins so far this season. Winnipeg Red Hot 8-1-1 over their last 10 games. Currently, Islanders just 3-6-1 over their last 10 games. Jets are 15-6 at home so far this season. Great defense at home, good goaltending. 8-14-1 to the under are the Jets at home. The Islanders are 13-8 to the over on the road this season. So a little bit of conflict there. This is the first meeting between these two teams this season. Islanders have lost 2 straight here on this road trip. They lost at Minnesota 5-0. They lost at Nashville 3-1. For Winnipeg, they had their winning streak snap finally when they lost at home to Philadelphia 2-0. Oh man, I would probably just I'm just going to play the Jets here. I don't even think I'm going to take them on the puck line. I'm just going to lay $1.85 here on the show. Don't mind me, just some chalky guy, Count Chocula here, laying a big price. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets. You guys are on the Islanders here. Fernando, Gamble. Gino says Jets and under, though. Jay's on the under here in this one. Islanders have owned this series. I will give you that. No doubt about it. They won last year's meetings. And Timmy Chushu says right there, Islanders own the Jets. I was saying it before. I was saying it as Timmy was typing it in. And then I saw it on the screen. Promise you that, Timmy. But we're in agreement right there. I'm going to take the Jets here. I'm not sure of the total at this point, but if it's going to, it's 6 juice to the under, I even see 6 under 20 at Circa right now. I want to respect Circa, but if that thing, I might 5.5 over 30 would have my attention. Might even be that. I don't know. Okay, keep going here. Kings and Stars. Thanks for joining me today. We've still got 50 of you hanging out here with me on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 40,000 subscriber juggernaut. And let's get into this one with the Kings and the Stars. A little bit of a sigh of relief for the Los Angeles Kings here, finally getting a victory over the Carolina Hurricanes, 5-2 yesterday. So, man, I didn't know if the losing streak was going to end there for the Kings, but obviously now having to come in on a back-to-back. Well, look, we gave you the over on that game. I said on the air that when we talked about the preview, I was trying to get on the Kings yesterday. Didn't ever quite make it. Just gun shy there with the Kings. My Kings. I wasn't liking what I was seeing, but did go over in that one, and they did go over with their 5-goal performance. Dallas comes in off of a win over Chicago 3-1 on the road. They've won 3 of their last 4 games currently. These two teams have not met yet this season. Kings still have that stellar 14-4 record on the road right now, but Dallas 13-8 at home. Dallas, monster over team at home right now, 19-4 to the over this season at home for Dallas. But the Kings, they're one of the strongest under teams on the road, 7-14 to the under on the road. Now, Dallas does have a better record than the Kings. They're coming with 25 wins. The Kings have 21 wins this season, and I know the Kings run a back-to-back. I liked what I saw yesterday. I'm so easily swayed by this team when they look good. So, I don't know. I would think that if they have any kind of performance, obviously like they did yesterday, they should take care of this game, and that's probably just that I would end up going. I'm going to take the Kings here, even on the back-to-back, as an underdog. I'm no turning back. I'm taking the Kings. Stars for our Tomps. Curtis says give him the puck line here in this one. Yeah, Rick says I got a lot of gamble. It's easy when you're up here just throwing out darts, right? But actually, I feel like the role of the public handicapper, right? Too many, you take too much heat for taking either just too much chalk when obviously you want to get in there and mix it up a little bit, and you just got to get the spot right, and you want the price to be right. So I'm taking the Kings, and you just have to trust my record. Thank you, Doubles, for your college basketball update there in the chat. Could we ever just use that as our hand? Like, trust me. Trust me, I was up 40 units in hockey on the website last year. All right. Let's go with the Sharks here. And the Blackhawks. Connor Bedard starting to skate already with that fractured jaw. Still going to be some time, but he's already resuming his workouts here. No reason to rush anything back and get any further injury. You want to have a nice, great smile for all your promotional endeavors in the future. If you're Connor Bedard, you're not going anywhere this season. What's going to happen when these two poor teams meet right now? Sharks with 10 wins, Blackhawks with 12 wins. Sharks here. These two teams have not met yet this season, so we're obviously going to see more of these two meeting here in the weeks to come. Chicago's lost 3 straight. San Jose's lost a couple in a row. Total all the way up here to 6 currently. I think there was some 5.5s out there right now. Yeah, in fact, they're all 5.5. So what are they doing? This game is not going to be want for goals. Did I use the word want correctly? I'm no genius here. I'm just a handicapper on YouTube. I would think there'd be 6 goals or more scored in this game with the Sharks and the Blackhawks. Now, easy to look at these two teams and say that they play more unders than overs. That's for sure. But usually, the team they're playing is much better than them. I would think that this is the opportunity for these two teams to score some goals. The last game had 7. The matchups last year between these two teams both had 7 goals. All 3 matchups last year had 7 goals exactly. So that's I think that's correct. Yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna take it here. The road team has won the last 3 meetings. All 3 meetings last year between these two teams was won by the road team. And does anybody want to make a pick on this game? Double says ugly game, he'll lean under. Gino says under. Rick says 2 bad teams take the over. All right, Rick, you and me, kid, sir, old man, whatever you are, my friend. Thank you so much for your contributions. Gamble goes under. It's me and Rick against everybody else. Gino says, give me the Sharks on the money line. And Curtis says, Chicago's a lock. Well, you got to beat somebody. Maybe this could be the spot. Price is getting a little bit heavy, if you know what I mean, on a matchup like this at $1.30. I'll take the over. Yeah. Oh, okay. Rick and I, so no wonder we see eye to eye. Okay, here we go. 2 more to go here with the Coyotes. Talk about good seasons. I'd say this has been a real good season right now for the Coyotes. I don't think there's any mistake about that. 21 wins right now. Calgary with 20 wins. Good matchup here. $1.65 for Calgary. And the total looks like 6 over 15. Arizona coming off that shutout win at Minnesota, 6-0 in that one. Before that was these two teams meeting at home for Arizona. Arizona won 6-2 over Calgary in the first meeting between these two teams this season. Calgary's 10-7 at home so far this year. Calgary's gone under in 8 of their last 10 games. Arizona's gone 11-8 to the over on the road. Calgary's gone 10-8 to the over at home. But I think for me, if the total is going to be 6, I mean, we're looking at a game that I would think is probably going to be a 1-goal game here, even if Calgary is kind of a considerable favorite. Arizona's, to me, just playing pretty well. And they've got a little bit of revenge on Calgary for a pretty embarrassing home loss. They beat Boston, remember, before that, did Arizona. They also lost to Winnipeg. No problem there. They were blown out in that game, though. Hello, Wine Time here today. Curtis is on the Flames. R. Tomps is on the Coyotes here. I'll just probably stick to the total in this one, and I'm going to look to go over 6 goals. Thanks, Tom Trewicki here today. Hello, Tom. All right, I'm on 4 overs here all of a sudden again. Here's Gamble on the under. Going there. I'm not. I didn't like the game too much though. Actually, I don't think I can. Maybe not even. I don't even know if I'm going to be on a side in that one. Here's Maple Leafs and Oilers, the last game of the day of the night. Toronto comes in 21, 12, and 2. No, 7. I have old eyes. 20, 23 and 15 here for Edmonton. Probably one of the games of the night. Certainly, matchup wise, Edmonton $1.50 here at home, and the total is 7 under 20 for the most part. Yep. Toronto, of course, on a 3-game losing streak right now, having lost at home to Detroit. They lost at home to Colorado. They lost at the Islanders. And the Edmonton Oilers just keep it rolling right now. Look, the games have been close. They've been exciting. They've been thrilling, but they've won here time and again. The Oilers keep winning at this point with this long winning streak. And will it continue tonight? This is going to be a tougher. This is going to be the tough one. It feels like for the Oilers. Toronto, one of the best road teams in the league, 11-3 on the road right now. Toronto. First meeting between these two teams. Edmonton won here last year, 5-2 on March 1st of last season. So, you know what? It might be Grand Salami Day for me. I'm going to take the over here in this one. Toronto, they've gone 2-7-1 to the under in their last, I believe, 2-7-1 to the under in their last 10, I want to say right now. Edmonton, 10-7-1 to the over this season at home. I feel like this one's going to, I could be 3-3 minimum. It feels like to me. I think it's going to be that good of a game. Could even get to 4-4. 4-3 worst case for me here in this one. I think it's going to be a 1-goal game. We're seeing, 1-goal games right now. Certainly for Edmonton, even with this great winning streak currently, they beat won at Chicago 2-1. They won at Detroit 3-2. They won at Montreal 2-1. Those were all winnable games, and they did win them. So that's a real big boost for Edmonton, right now. So. All right, give me the over in this one. That gives me on the card here 5 overs today. 2 games where Colorado and Ottawa got steamed to the over. Could I go the salami over today? The salami is 51.5. 51. 51 at even money. I think I've got to take the salami here today with the 8 games at 51. 6.3 goals. I think it's all very logical to go with the Grand Salami over today. I'll at least mention it, and we'll see how it did. Not an official play. Gamble's ready for. He might be on the Grand Salami. Gino's on the Leafs puck line. And Rick says he has he has that same feeling that I do when I see a good team playing on the road, big game. I don't put a lot of into the 2 Canadian teams playing. It is a little bit, so there is a little bit to it, certainly. There's an under here and an under here, so and an under here, lots of unders for you guys. And this one, I don't know about that. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Oilers have a couple injuries, certainly, up front. So, and Toronto's goalie situation, though, has been of concern. Though that's it for the show. Though we don't have to go any further. Connor Ingram was confirmed for Arizona. Is Skinner for the Oilers? That's it. That's it for the show. Thanks for joining me, everybody, here on the Morning Steam for Tuesday, January 16th. I'm back more tomorrow with more college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more from you guys. Thanks for everyone for your comments in the chat on the show today. Guys like Gamble, Gino, Rick, Curtis, Wine Time stopped by. Jace Move, as always. RVD was here. Panger Life even came by today. How about that? Curtis Mann, Justin McElvey, Thomas Bird here today as well. We had Thomas Lewis, don't forget, as always. We had, and I want to mention, I didn't, yeah. Oh, Andrew Wozniak. Andrew Wozniak. Hope I got that one right, Andrew. Mike Allison was here today. Jeff Schramm, Thomas Bird, Billy Mack was here. Russell, Ron G was here today. So was Dre. Doubles was here today. How about Ray Otachi? Always joining us. Luis as well here today. And Kenny Jackson also stopped by today. Cliff Lloyd was here. Fernando was here. As well as Stephen Downey stopped by today. Gino Nichols Handy was here. Chad was here, of course, today, bringing us more winners. Poppy was here today. Kenny Jackson was here today as well. Oh, Kenny got 2 shout-outs. Timmy Two Shoe, Ladarian Monger, don't forget, was here. R. Tomps, can't forget R. Tomps. RGZ Dota, Thurman Hill. Thanks, everybody. Justin McElvey. That's it. Gerardo as well. That's it for the Morning Steam. Come back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. More pre-picks on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Don't forget the drive-thru, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Tony T and the Pick Dogs crew get you the previews before the primetime games tonight here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon.
Can it be showing up with Tony T? Yes, Ramon SEO. To the double TV funneling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning steam is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.